I was a dumbass, voted for Trump. It was the worst decision I ever made.
I've seen the light, and I got out of MAGA. A lot of us there have seen the light. We have deep regrets.
I feel guilty because I voted for Trump twice. I feel very guilty because I feel responsible. That's why he's still running.
I used to be a MAGA Republican, and now I've turned blue.
And it makes me emotional to know that I ever fucking stood by idly and blind and let that shit happen.
Because I know that I have been a Trump supporter, and I can no longer say that I am MAGA. And
I regret my vote for Trump.
I voted for Trump. I'm done. I don't have any more resilience in me.
Man, I can't believe I have to say this, but I'm no longer rocking with Trump. Dude, I was the first Gen Zer to support Trump. I definitely preferred him in 2016 and to some degree 2020. I was with Trump for 9 straight years, 2016 to today. I didn't vote for him in 2024, actually, thank God. But what happened between me and the employee who told me about the new policy change for giving free water, man, I'm disappointed. I'm very disappointed in Trump right now. We would have been way better off with J.D. Vance or Butch Ware or Candace Owens, but we got Trump, and we know Trump for who he is. He's a corporate shill. He's imposed tariffs. That's not a conservative move. That's not even a nationalist or imperialist move. That's worse than imperialist. It's a feudalist neocon move. And Trump, I hope you know better. I should have boycotted Starbucks in October of 2023, but I didn't because I was stupid as hell. Today, I'm going to sell my Trump stock, and I'm also going to be boycotting Starbucks moving forward.
Yeah, we voted for Trump in 2016, 2020, and 2024. We live in the Florida Panhandle, and we thought that this would be good for our business, but we're finding out now that we were wrong, and I want to publicly say that we are regretting our votes at this point. My husband and me own a construction company, and we literally do not have workers anymore. Most of our workers are from Mexico, and they're good, hard workers. I talked to a few of them, and they said they were just too scared to come back to work because of all the raids. Our construction company is likely to go out of business now, and we don't know what we're going to do, but we're never voting for a Republican again. Ron DeSantis and Trump have been passing laws that negatively affect our business, and I just want to say that I'm sorry for voting for him. I grew up Republican, and it's all I've ever known, but now I can see that me and my whole family have been very wrong about this. So we hope that 2026 comes and we can take back the House and the Senate and stop him from what he's doing. There's a special election coming up in Matt Gaetz's district, and we're going to do everything we can to advocate for a Democrat taking that seat.
Is anyone else's head spinning right now at everything Trump's doing? He's cutting this program, he's firing these people, he's renaming oceans, and something I never expected, he's now taking control of Gaza? How is that even possible? Is that something he can do? Just say, I want to take control of Gaza? And how does that play out for the end time scenario? I have so many questions, but one of the top ones is, when does this man sleep? Does he ever sleep? I mean, really, what could be coming next? And what is America going to look like at the end of this 4 years? This man has done more in 3 weeks than Biden did in all of his term. I'm definitely curious to see what's going to come next. And once his picks get confirmed and get busy working, I'm curious to see what they're going to do. I also heard that Trump is planning on going to the Super Bowl. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I don't think anybody should be going to large events right now, but definitely not our president. Like, he should just sit his butt at home, maybe play a round of golf or something, but stay away from the Super Bowl.
I might lose my farm because of the government.
No, because of who you voted for.
NRCS, conservation planning. So they had a program out there called the EQIP program.
That's a great program. And Joe Biden's Inflation Reduction Act provided $60 billion to that program. But the person you voted for froze those funds. So what happened?
He got a contract with them for $240,000. So called me today and said, hey, I know we have this signed contract. We're reneging on it.
That sucks for you. But again, with all these people that regret voting for Donald Trump, we don't feel bad. This was laid out in Project 2025. We warned everyone, but y'all didn't want to believe us. And so because you voted for Donald Trump, you're at risk of losing your farm.
I had this contract. I made business decisions based on this contract.
Then you should have done more research. But what sucks the most is the farmers that did the research and voted for Kamala. Those are the ones we feel bad about.
But I don't understand how you can sign a contract and then just renege on that contract. I do not.
It hasn't even been 3 weeks yet. And so many people are in the find out stage. Next time there's an election, just do more research.
Are y'all really this pathetic? You really are trying to make leaving MAGA a thing as if anybody's really leaving MAGA? Listen, it's like such sore losers that you all are trying so hard to make somebody regret voting for Donald Trump. Let me tell you something. I don't know not one person who regretted voting for Donald Trump, okay? I know a lot of people that regret voting for Kamala Harris. To be honest, some of these people are even celebrities. Charlamagne, Stephen A. Smith even say he felt like a fool voting for Kamala Harris. But why are y'all trying so hard to make leaving MAGA really a thing? Y'all are so desperate. It looks such a pathetic attempt that you are just bringing everything up, pulling anything out of your ass. Like nothing is working for y'all. It's just a complete embarrassment. And wish y'all would just realize it. That nobody regret voting for Donald Trump. The reason why we can tell you the reason why we voted for Donald Trump. Because what he campaigned on and exactly what Donald Trump is doing is exactly what he campaigned on. We're happy. We're cheering for it. But can nobody that actually voted for Kamala Harris tell me why they voted for Kamala Harris without mentioning Donald Trump's name? So, it makes it, we're happy. We're cheering. There's no such thing as a hashtag leaving MAGA since it's supposed to be trending now. I don't know why y'all keep making up this nonsense. You lost. Accept it. Leave us alone. We're having a blast. We're celebrating. We have not stopped celebrating.
Well, wouldn't you know? So now you're finding out that Americans, you voted for Trump there, you're finding out that you may not get your Christmas bonuses because of the tariffs, because your employers are going to need to, quote-unquote, stock up on supplies before the tariffs kick in. Ooh, people have been explaining what tariffs are for a long time now. Democrats have been trying to tell you it's a bad idea. FAFO.
Hey y'all, so I've been seeing it float around that there are some MAGAs who actually do regret voting the way that they did. And what I have to say about that is good. Because honestly, the more you regret the thing that you've done, the more uncomfortable it is for you to sit with it, the more likely you are to remember this for next time. Maybe you're finally going to admit to yourself, I was wrong. Maybe you're finally going to admit to yourself, other people were right. Maybe you're going to admit to yourself, I made a huge mistake. I never should have done that. Maybe you will finally admit to yourself, I got taken in. I fell for a con. Maybe also you will admit to yourself that you don't care about anyone or anything unless it directly involves you. Maybe you'll finally admit that all of the people who were fighting for the cushy life that you had been living are the exact people whose lives you voted against. Maybe you'll finally realize how complacent you'd become. And maybe you'll finally realize, yeah, you know what? I actually was/am racist. Maybe you'll finally admit that you had been living with bigotry and racism up until that point, or maybe even now still. And maybe you're going to finally realize that what we're all facing now, you included, is not how we want to live. So yes, good. Regret it. Be uncomfortable. Sit with that, because nobody's going to have any sympathy for you. You're going to sit with that all alone, and you're going to have to face some hard truths. And I really, really hope that this experience changes you for the better. Because honestly, if it doesn't, then you kind of truly are a lost cause. Meanwhile, everybody else, what do we get to say? I told you so.
So I'm in Walgreens, and there's this guy in front of me who's all decked out in his MAGA gear. The one with the daddy's home, you know, with the fist in the air. Anyway, he's there with his MAGA hat on and his Trump shirt, and he's getting his prescriptions. So the lady behind the counter that's helping him lets him know, "Sir, I've noticed that you have TRICARE as your insurance, and I'm just letting you know you should be getting a letter in the mail that we are no longer going to be contracted through them at the end of this month." He said, "What do you mean?" We got Selfridge right down the road. What do you mean you ain't going to be contracted through no veterans insurance? And she said, "Sir, there are a whole lot of administrative changes that are going to be going on, and Walgreens, the company, is unsure of what contracts through the VA, what contracts for the military are going to be revised or pulled." She says, "Now, I'm sure there are other pharmacies such as CVS or mail-in pharmacies such as Express Scripts that will still honor your insurance. But as far as Walgreens, we will not." And boy, did this man get so mad. He didn't understand what was going on. So she broke down to him what was happening. She's like, you know, he's talking about getting rid of VA hospitals. He's getting rid of possibly disability for veterans, or putting a 10-year max cap on that. And it's going to be an extremely hard process to even be approved for that. So this guy, he's just like staring at her, and he goes, "Well, shit, I don't know what I'm going to do." He said, "You know, the only thing that I live off of right now is my VA and my Social Security." And she just kind of looked at him, and I looked at him, and I said, "They're going to be taking your Social Security too." And I looked down at his shirt, and I looked back up at him. I said, "You know, from one veteran to another, Daddy doesn't give a fuck if you have your medicine or not. He really doesn't. He doesn't care that you served. He deferred his freaking draft 4 times because his feet hurt. I mean, what do you expect from the guy?" "Well, Republicans are supposed to be all about their military." I said, "This is not about Republicans and Democrats, sir. There's Republicans, there's Democrats, and then there's MAGA." And I said, "And unfortunately, you're all a part of the MAGA." I said, "Hey, you voted for him. You fucked around, and now you're going to find out." And I kind of feel bad because his face was just so like this was the first time he ever heard this. This was the first time he was ever hearing that as a veteran, his benefits, his security is being threatened, that his Social Security is being threatened. Like, where the fuck are these people staying? Where are they at? Like, living under a rock? I don't get it. But anyway, that's my story.
You know, at the end of the day, with all of MAGA figuratively shoving our nose in our own shit like we're dogs in order to feel superior about Trump winning the election, I actually pity this man that she's talking about. And here's the thing. We have no idea what's going to happen. And I'm a veteran. My parents are veterans. I'm a military brat through and through. And now veterans' options are going to be severely limited, as if vets don't have a hard enough time already. There's a lot of consequence that comes from the results of elections and the words that comes out of politicians' mouths during these elections. It kind of reminds me of this debate I was having with somebody recently who was saying, "Don't worry about mass deportations. That's not going to happen. He doesn't have the power to do that. It was just a ploy. It was a talking point or whatever." Well, that remains to be seen. And beyond that, he appears to be doubling down. It's going to have massive implications for our economy. And even if that never happened, which it's looking like it is, just the fact that it has been used as a part of his political strategy is going to have, and has had, demonstrable consequences in our communities. The same way that his Project 2025 initiative that he pretended to not know anything about and everyone looked the other way is going to have massive implications. If I've said it once, I've said it twice, and I've said it thrice. Having zero scope of what your iconic billionaire leader is proposing in his policies simply because he loathes the same groups of people that you do is the ultimate fuck around and find out karma that you are about to receive.
Are my MAGA family regretting their decisions? No, they're celebrating. They're celebrating the deportations. Yeah.
I'm going to have to put on my fucking double-seeing glasses because I can't even begin to see the amount of bullshit coming from you.
I do not like this song. Santa Claus is coming to town. Do not come to my town.
People are starting to realize that, we might have made a mistake. I think we made a mistake. So search hashtag leaving MAGA and you'll just find tons of videos of people who are regretting their decision, which is, I know the last 2 weeks have been insane in America, but I mean, the stuff that he has said all along and just all of the lies that he's been telling ever since he first started running, and the fact that he says things that are just absolutely bonkers and completely made up, you guys still voted for him. People have been telling you since the start, this guy's no good, don't listen to this guy, and you kept listening to him, and now he's in. And I understand you regret it, and you're leaving MAGA, but you might want to look at the playbook of how tyrants take over countries with total control. You might regret it, but there's a chance that you're not going to get rid of him now at all. You've done this, and this is happening. So you can be sorry, but it's happened, and that's it now. But yeah, I searched the hashtag leaving MAGA. It's interesting to see.
Is there any regrets yet? For the people that voted, do y'all have any regrets? Because what was spoken, it's not even being done. Now USPS? Have y'all heard about that? We can't get anything from Shein, from Temu, none of that. Because China's not beat. I don't know what's going on. I don't really like to talk about all this. But this is insane. I'm not even understanding this process for real. I mean, me personally, I don't vote because anybody can say anything out their mouth, right? I want to see if it's true with everything that he said. Everybody sat there and talk about the other person, how she this, she that, she did this, and she's saying that. But what did they say, and what's going on right now? I don't know. Do y'all feel like this going to be like a World War III or something? There's going to be something. Something's going to happen. It's crazy. We can't even call it. We just got to wait on it.
I'll just be honest. I kind of feel like my account is falling off a little bit because I feel like I'm giving off resistance lib vibes, and I'm like a far leftist, right? If you're coming here expecting me to punch left because not enough leftists voted for Harris over Israel, you're not going to find any sympathy from me. As outrageous as Trump's proposal to relocate every single Gazan outside of the Gaza Strip, that discussion wouldn't be possible without the Biden administration writing blank checks to Netanyahu to kill 80,000 Gazans in their homes. That responsibility falls squarely on the Democrats. And Trump is as much a product of the incompetence of Democrats as he is of the insane greed of the oligarchs who basically run the United States anyway, who the Democrats also answer to, just in slightly nicer ways. And if you're going to get upset at young voters who didn't show up to vote for Harris, you should get equally upset at moderate Republicans who decided to vote for Trump instead of Harris, right? because those were the people that Harris put all of her work and effort and focus into trying to court, and none of them switched to vote for Harris. And those are the people who are now seeing what's happening and getting buyer's remorse. You want to get mad at voters, get mad at those voters.
A lot of liberals are saying right now that Trump supporters are regretting their vote, but not this girl. I voted for Trump because of the things he said he was going to do. And now he's doing the things he said he was going to do. Why would I regret my vote? I'm happy to see these things happening. I'm happy that he's keeping his word and doing the things he said he was going to do. Is he a saint? No. Is he perfect? No. Do I agree with absolutely every single thing he's ever done? No. But a lot of his policies represent my values, and he's the candidate that aligned more with my values. So yeah, I voted for him, and I do not regret it.